Hi there, homespun friends. It is Sherry, and it's great to see you today. I hope this video finds you all doing well. I wanted to come along today and show you a few things that I purchased this spring at Dollar Tree. Now, I know many of you have a Dollar Tree right where you live, and perhaps you've purchased some of these items also, but I thought I would show you what I got and tell you about my experience. One of the first things that I picked up in the early spring was this 3-pack of flower grow kits. Came in this little container, and so I got all 3 little cups of grow kits for just $1.25. And I thought to myself when I bought this is probably a waste of money. I don't think this is going to do anything, because how could it possibly? But I thought, you know what, it'll be fun to try and it'll give me something to do. Well, I came home, I stuck it over in a little basket that I have on the other side of my kitchen, and pretty soon I totally forgot that it was there. And so several weeks passed when I went over to that section for something and realized, oh my goodness, I never tried to use these little grow kits to grow my flowers. So I pulled everything out and decided, well, it's never too late to start. I'm going to go ahead and start now. And I've been pleasantly surprised. Now, there are 3 types of flowers in this kit. As you can see, there is the sunflower here, the forget-me-not here, and the daisies, which daisy is one of my favorite flowers. And I love all of these. And so I read the directions for each one. I looked up a few things online. I saw that the forget-me-not tends to like cooler weather, and I was very concerned. I thought, well, this will never grow in the South. Once spring gets past, it might be too late to have this growing, but I'm just going to try it. I have this. I'm just going to see what it does. It started out with 3 little small biodegradable pots that are kind of short, and it had a little dirt disc that you could mix with water, and then as you used your fork, you could mix up that soil. It's kind of like some growing mix, and then you take your seeds, and it tells you how to place your seeds in the dirt. Some need to be a little more, planted a little further down, some very close to the surface, that sort of thing. And so I read all of the directions for these as I planted them, and I thought I would let you see what I've come up with so far, because it's been about, I don't know, it's been probably a couple weeks now. And here is the results of this grow kit. Now, this is the size cup that they all 3 started out in, this little small cup like this. And as you can see, 2 of these are still in their little small pots, but this big one here has really gone crazy. And of course, this is the sunflower. Sunflowers just really can take off and grow large quite fast. And so this particular sunflower has been potted up 2 times, but these still remain in their small little pot that they started with. Now, so this is the sunflower, and you can see how amazing it's done. And like I say, this is the second pot that I've put it into, and next time I plant it, it'll probably go in its permanent pot, either in a 5-gallon bucket or maybe directly into the ground. I haven't decided exactly yet. Most people don't realize that sunflowers can grow in a pot, even if they're not a dwarf sunflower. Most sunflowers can grow in a pot as long as there is enough dirt and expanse for that sunflower to grow. And so what is recommended is a 5-gallon bucket of dirt, and these sunflowers can get up to 5 or 6 feet tall within that 5-gallon bucket. Hard to imagine. Now, I do have some dwarf sunflowers outside, and I shared a picture of those over on the Homespun Wife on Facebook, and those are called Sunfinities. Even though they're dwarf sunflowers, they grow to about 4 feet tall, and they are absolutely beautiful. I love them, and they're really putting out some gorgeous sunflowers, and they make me happy every single day that I see them. They make me smile, and that's what's great about flowers. Now, this middle one is the forget-me-not. As you can see, it germinated very well. And even though it's only been a couple weeks now, I'm going to get ready to size these up, and I will add dirt to another larger pot, and I will put them in it. And then this is how the daisies are doing. They're looking like this. And so it took them a little bit longer to come to fruition. Now, I was really hoping that I did not mix these up, because I was thinking, that looks more like I don't know, that looks more like it could be a daisy. But no, I had the little labels attached to them. And so supposedly this is the forget-me-not and this is the daisy in this one. I guess we'll only be able to tell once the blooms start. We'll know for sure, right? And so the size that I'm going to put them up into next, these smaller cups here, is this size. I ordered a bunch of these from Amazon a year or two ago to kind of do some seed starting, and I have a lot left. And so this is the perfect upsize for this kind of little, pot here that's so small. I'll just add more dirt and I'll take these out, kind of break them up slightly, but being very gentle so as not to disturb the roots too much, and then put them in this pot to grow a little while longer. And as they continue to grow, I'll move them to the next size up until they're mature enough to be in their permanent pot. Now, another thing that I wanted to do was expand my herbs this year. I always have herbs every spring, and even if I don't use them, I love the way they look up around the gate at the back of my house. The problem that we had this year with herbs that always come back every year and overwinter all the time is that we had some bitterly cold temperatures in December. We had temperatures that are very, very cold for the South, and they sustained at that level for, 4 or 5 nights maybe. They were single digits then, like maybe 4 degrees, 5 degrees, 7 degrees. And we just don't usually see that kind of cold snap here in the South, at least not one that would last for numerous nights. And when that happens, I usually have a loss of some of my plants, my herbs. Now, what came back was the chives. They were very strong. The oregano. I have 2 kinds of oregano. I have Italian oregano and I have like hot oregano. And my mint came back. But outside of that, everything else pretty much died. I had some parsley. It didn't do very well at all. It's very weak looking, and everything else died. I didn't have any basil. I definitely didn't have any dill. I had a tough time growing dill even last year, and it's one of my favorite things to grow. And so I decided while I was at Dollar Tree, I would look for a couple of herbs that I might try in these little kits. And what I found was something called an herb rocket. And I want to show you that. Maybe you have seen this at the Dollar Tree yourself. And I decided to give them a try. I don't know how successful I will be, but it looks like this. There is the herb rocket for the dill. And you can see the little pod that goes down in it. It's almost like, it's hard to explain, like a little mat of greenery that's rolled up into almost like a scroll there. And then I also purchased this sweet basil. And as you can see, it says on there, it's for pots, planters, or gardens. And what I'm really wanting to do is put these in pots. And I'm hoping that if they'll grow this summer and do very well, that maybe we won't have as bitter a cold snap as we did last December. And these will be able to survive the winter like they usually do. We'll just have to wait and see if they even grow at all. But let me show you what they look like. I'll put these down and show you these. Now, in the process of planting these, and these have only been planted for like 2 days, in the process of doing this, I got mixed up on which one is which. I'm not sure which one is basil or dill. And as I said, with these little flowers over here, the tale will be told if they ever actually germinate. We'll know exactly what is dill and what is basil. They look very different. But here they are in their pots. Now this little pot is the same size as the sunflower pot that you saw that I had transplanted those sunflowers into. I got 6 of these at Dollar Tree for just $1. Now they're fairly flimsy, as you can see on camera here. They're not like that firm plastic, but they're perfect for starting seeds and germinating larger types of plants that maybe are not, in these little teeny tiny pots, but something like this herb rocket is perfect because it actually was about this long. And what it suggested that you do, or the instructions said, was to take this herb rocket and put it down in a pot and fill it around with dirt up into the level of the herb rocket. And that's the herb rocket that you're seeing in there, which, like I said, it's a mat of greenery that's rolled up. and you just slide it down in there amongst the dirt and keep it watered once or twice a day to make sure it stays moist, and it's supposed to germinate in a short period of time. So we'll see what happens. Only been a couple of days. And so these little pots have been perfect for me, whether it's starting an herb rocket or transplanting up a sunflower that will eventually not stay in this pot but move on up either to the ground or a 5-gallon bucket. That was a perfect stepping stone for me as I was trying to, use some of these seeds and pods that I found at Dollar Tree. And I would just be curious to know if any of you have ever tried to start any seeds that you got at Dollar Tree and how successful it was for you. Now, while I was there, I thought I might as well just go ahead and add to my seed collection by buying some of these seeds. They were 4 for $1. And so I thought I would show you these. Now, this is the American Seed Company, and their seeds are always 100% non-GMO, and I love that about them. And I will not use any of these this year. I'm planning on waiting and using them next year. It is already getting towards the end of May, and in our area, it'll probably be getting hot soon, and it might be tougher for small seeds to be, germinating outside in the dirt there. So I might just hold on to these. Now, most of these seeds do not expire until, or it says to be sold by 12/23, and so that's perfect. They'll be fine next spring. Many seeds that are sold this year will still be good for next year or the next, and sometimes longer than that. It really just depends. And so don't ever panic if you see that you have seeds that might be a year or two old. Go ahead and use them if you have them on hand and see what happens. Almost always those seeds will germinate. So what I bought was the Bachelor Buttons, the Blue Boys. Now what this makes me think about is my grandmother, my paternal grandmother loved Bachelor Buttons. It's an old type flower that she grew up with. Now she's passed away now for a number of years, but this makes me think about her because she loved these. And this one I'm not that familiar with. It's called Gypsophilia, Gypsophila, Covent Garden, I don't know, but they sure did look pretty, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this a try, and hopefully by the time I'm able to plant it and get it to germinate next year, I'll learn more about how to say it, because that is a little bit difficult to say. If you've ever planted these, let me know. And did you call them this name, or was it something else? I really am not familiar with this. And so I'm always trying to learn something new about flowers and plants. And then, of course, we have the Choice Mixed Colors of Morning Glory. They're always beautiful. I love them. And the Cosmos. And these are the bright lights. The mixed colors. Aren't they gorgeous? I love Cosmos too. So those are the 4 packs of seeds that I purchased to add to my seed collection that I have going. I've really just started purchasing seeds. I have some that are left from last year that I purchased, and then I have some that I've bought this year. And I have quite a few more that I would like to share with you. Some of them are dated for the growing season of 2023, like the fall of 2023, and some are actually dated 2024. And so I'm going to be holding on to those until next year. There's only so much you can do in one spring season, and this year has been very much focused for us on adding a length of cattle panel to our grape arbor. We have a 16-foot grape arbor, and it is looking beautiful out there. Now, the last 4-foot panel that we added onto it, we have 2 young plants out there, and they are growing, but they're not growing nearly as much as those that we planted last spring, which are beginning now to overtake the arbor, and it's very beautiful. We've also focused on planting some more fruit trees. We've added in some peaches. We added an additional plum tree. We added a pear tree, and we have a couple of those now, but we're just adding to what we might already have and nurturing what we have. And of course, we have apples. We added a couple of extra blueberries. We're trying to add to our blueberries each spring. I think we have about 7 of those now. And so we are really starting to pick up the production of our fruits here at our little baby homestead that we have here at our little acre of the world. And while we don't have a true homestead, we don't have chickens, and we don't have a lot of things that you might think of with a homestead, we like to consider our home our place of joy, and we like to try new things. My husband is always working out in the yard. We're always working around the house to plant new flowers, and we really love to invest in something that we might can eat. We've planted figs this year, and we also planted pawpaw trees. If you've ever heard of a pawpaw tree, let me know in the comments below. I think I had heard of them before, but I had no idea what they were. It takes a lot of years to grow a pawpaw tree, and it takes about 7 years sometimes to see the first little bit of fruit come on one. So it's going to be a while that we're going to be watching that. We pray that God will give us life and energy to be around when those pawpaw trees begin to put off something delicious to eat. Friends, let me know what's going on at your little homestead of the world, whether you have a huge farm or maybe you just have a little balcony patio on your apartment. Whatever it is where you are, that is your little corner of the world that you can make bright in the way that you choose. And some people even choose just to grow plants indoors, and those are nice too. I've enjoyed having a little chat with you today, friends, and like always, I look forward to seeing you next time. I love you. Bye-bye.